Hurricane Harvey was just a tropical depression crossing the Yucatan Peninsula on Monday, August 21st, which was our first day back at school. Little did any of us realize just how severe the storm was going to be.
It looked like it was going to be fairly weak, and then you sort of remember when we heard that it was actually growing in magnitude and looking to make a direct hit on Texas.
The thing about Harvey is that as it was coming in, it was a tropical storm. And in the span of 32 hours, it went from a tropical storm to a Category 4 hurricane.
The first landfall near Rockport was really devastating for its winds, and Rockport had over 500 buildings that were either completely destroyed or heavily damaged.
Around 8 o'clock, 8:30, the eye wall hit. It was the most terrifying, deafening noise I've ever heard in my life. They say a tornado sounds like a freight train right outside your window. That was the eye wall of Harvey.
What struck me about this storm was hearing the forecast for rain. First 20 inches of rain, then 30 inches of rain, then 40, and ultimately receiving over 60 inches of rain in some places in Texas.
I was alone at home the morning the water started coming into our house. I was alone with my 4-year-old daughter, my 4-year-old niece, and my 3-month-old baby. My house flooded and drained and flooded and drained at least 3 times in those days. It never stopped raining, ever.
Absolutely devastating. We had friends and loved ones that wanted us to check on their house. And how do you tell somebody, we're looking at your house right now and there's nothing left of it?
I'm driving down the street and I see my aunt outside of her business that had just been completely wiped out. She had lost her house and she lost her business all in the same night.
TCEQ is part of a multi-agency response, and it's coordinated through the Texas Department of Emergency Management. And TCEQ and its sister agencies get together to manage the response.
And not only did we have staff that were directly impacted in Corpus by the storm, but now we had staff that were impacted in Houston and staff that were impacted in Beaumont. We actually had staff who were being rescued themselves and then still trying to run response to this unprecedented storm that nobody expected.
I was thrilled to be able to go back to work and do what we are trained to do, what we have been preparing to do, and help people.
The governor's response with regard to this great challenge that the state saw, I think will set an example that will hopefully be replicated across the country, because the governor made it very clear to state agencies that we weren't going to let bureaucracy get in the way of helping Texans help themselves out of this situation.
The moving thing about this event was the way that neighbors helped each other. The Cajun Navy, people with bass boats that put themselves in harm's way to help save lives, and that was really inspiring.
Those volunteers that came with free food and offering to hold your hand and put their hand on your shoulder saying, you can do this, it's okay. It was awesome.
Our friends and family and even complete strangers showed up to help us. They donated diapers and formula and dropped off hot food for us when they saw us out there working.
Just shows you in a crisis situation, your true inner strength coming out. It's been truly amazing, not only in Rockport, but across the state of Texas.
The way we responded to this storm was truly inspiring. Neighbors helping neighbors, and TCEQ playing its part.
We are going to make sure we respond to them as best we can, and we're going to make sure that we learn lessons from that so that the next storm or the next event we do even better.
We've already had a training in Galveston to get ready for the next hurricane season, so when the next hurricane does come, we don't have to tread new ground.
So I'm encouraged and heartened by our response to this storm as Texans and as a state agency. I feel like we're going to stand up and be stronger than ever before.